Welcome to the She Found Motherhood podcast. Dr. Sarah and I, Dr. Alicia, are going to go through the top 10 things you didn't know you needed in your hospital bag. Now, regardless if you're having a hospital birth or a home birth, it's really important to have that bag packed just in case. And we usually recommend packing it around 34 to 36 weeks because some people do go into labor a little bit early or at that 37, 38 week mark. So if you have it packed, you know you're ready to go. Don't forget, we've got a great free download if you're interested in our entire packing list, including these top 10 items. And you can find that on our website at www.shefoundhealth.ca/the-essential-packing-list, or just check the show notes below and we'll link it there.
Welcome to the She Found Motherhood podcast. We are Doctors Sarah and Alicia, maternity physicians and moms who have been through it all. We want to empower you with knowledge so you can have the best pregnancy, birth, and postpartum experience you can.
She Found Health and She Found Motherhood is meant for general medical information only. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. This information does not apply to every situation. If you have questions or if you've received different advice, please contact your healthcare provider. Always seek the advice of your physician or another qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. The views expressed by She Found Health and She Found Motherhood and our guests are not representative of any of the institutions with which we are affiliated. Some of our podcast episodes are sponsored so that we can keep getting great info out there to you, our listeners. We only partner with companies that we truly believe in. Some of our links and suggestions may be affiliates, and we would appreciate you using them to help fund this important work. Now let's get to it.
So welcome back to the She Found Motherhood podcast. Today, Alicia and I are going to talk to you about the top 10 things you didn't know you needed in your hospital bag. So we know there are tons of different resources out there to tell you what you should bring to the hospital. We've got our own, in fact. But, since we've supported thousands of pregnant people through labor and delivery and have had 5 hospital births of our own, we have our fair share of experience in knowing some of the most valuable hospital bag items. So we thought we'd share with you today our top 10 things that you didn't know you needed in your hospital bag.
But before we break it down, one good tip to think about is packing for labor, birth, and postpartum separately, and actually to divide your bag into 2 parts. That's just a little pro tip. So let's dive in. And we'll start with a must-have labor item that not everyone thinks about, a sleep mask. So oftentimes, if you're laboring at home, especially in the evening or at night, you can create a mellow mood with, the lighting nice and dim, that it actually feels a bit more comfortable. But those bright lights of the hospital can really be a bit jarring. So throw a mask in your bag, or just leave it on your forehead for that matter, for easy access. You can use this to help you get into the zone, or if you're having an IV or an epidural place and the provider needs bright lights, you can use it over your eyes to make sure you shield out those really bright lights of the hospital.
The next item, which may be obvious to some, is a Bluetooth speaker or a pair of headphones. Some laborers are short, but many are long, and having music in the background can be really soothing. Personally, I had epidural births with all my 3 babies, and we ended up playing music to distract me throughout some of the labor process just off my iPhone. And the sound just would have been way better with a Bluetooth speaker. And the good thing about this is you can also use it to play soothing sounds like ocean noises, white noise, etc. over on the postpartum side after you've had your baby. Unfortunately, in our hospital and in many, there are lots of distracting noises, and it can make it hard to sleep. So having that white noise in the background can be soothing for both you and your new baby to get the rest you need.
So little known fun fact about my first birth is Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire was playing at delivery on our Bluetoothed speaker, which was pretty awesome. And everybody was laughing except for me. Obviously, no epidural birth here. So that brings us to the item number 3, earplugs. We know we just told you to bring a speaker and now we're suggesting you to bring earplugs. Isn't that contradicting what we just said? Yes and no. Whether you're trying to get some sleep or to get your energy up for pushing if you have an epidural in place, or after delivery, you're trying to grab a couple of hours of rest when your baby arrives and your partner's watching them, earplugs can be really helpful for that, to shut out the background noise and allow you to really disconnect. The silicone ones are amazing, and they're not as irritating as to the ear canals as those like squishy orange and green ones that you can find.
And I think the important thing to know is sometimes people worry with earplugs they're not going to hear like anything they need to hear, but you will hear your baby crying, you'll hear your partner trying to shout at you. It just really helps shut out some of that background noise so you can actually get the rest you need.
And one of the things I do to this day, because I used to be a very heavy sleeper, but since having kids, I'm actually quite a light sleeper, is I put one in one ear and then I just sleep on the other side. So you can still let a little bit of noise in that way, but it just shuts out some of that noise, which is quite helpful.
Pro tip, Alicia. Okay, so we've covered a few must-have to soothe the senses, and we've talked about how important rest is. So one of our must-have items to help you get that much-needed rest postpartum is to bring your own pillow. Most hospital pillows are plastic, flat, not very comfortable, and limited in supply. So by bringing your own pillow, and we also recommend bringing it in its own bright pillowcase so it doesn't blend in with the hospital pillows and get left behind, it's such a blissful treat when you're trying to rest after birth. And bringing your own pillow, too, can also be really helpful to give you a bit of extra support when you're learning what positions work for breast or chest feeding, if that's something you choose to do. You don't necessarily have to bring a breastfeeding pillow because you're not necessarily going to know what one is the best fit for you, but just having your own sort of soft, cushy pillow can be really, really helpful and just feels good on the neck after the marathon that is labor.
Yeah, I need to start bringing my own pillow to the hospital, although we don't really sleep much, so there's no point, I guess.
I had one, I left one there, and when I was a resident, because I was on call so much, I had my own pillow.
You're probably wondering what items you might need to bring for your newborn, and don't worry, we'll get to that, but let's just touch on a few more key items for the birthing person. Hospitals are very dry environments, and the fact that your body is going through an incredibly athletic feat, we definitely recommend some hydrating items. Bring your own water bottle that's easy to drink from in a seated or lying position. Most centers have water or ice stations where you and your partner can refill at your convenience. On top of this, we also recommend lip moisturizer and a good hand cream. Keep these in your labor bag as you may want them during labor as well as postpartum period.
Another must-have item that you might not think about is bringing an extra long charging cable. Like we mentioned, a lot of labors, especially first-time labors, can actually be quite long. And you might be using your phone to do multiple things, play music, take photos, and even take videos. So to make sure you've got enough juice to get that phone through your labor, birth, and that golden hour, bring a long cable that can easily reach from the wall onto your hospital bed. We've got a few linked that we find helpful, and we'll put those in the show notes below.
And this is a great idea because oftentimes the charging plugs, there aren't as many in the hospital rooms as you might expect or a residential space. And sometimes they're covered up by the bed or the equipment that we have. So having an extra long charging cable just gives you a little bit more flexibility there. Hey, Sarah.
Yes, Alicia?
Did you have any problems with newborn sleep?
Oh my gosh, I sure did, especially with my first.
Me too. I wish I'd known more about what to expect going into it.
I know, and I wish that I had known to create a sleep plan with my partner.
I know. How can you support each other to get the sleep that you need while supporting your little baby?
Totally.
So guess what, guys? That's why we created the Newborn Sleep 101 course. In this course, we discuss what does newborn sleep look like and how can we help support that sweet little baby to become the best sleeper they can.
While also supporting you and your partner as you navigate this complex, sleep-deprived time.
We talk about how to set up your nursery or your bedroom to optimize both your sleep and your newborn sleeps. And we also start talking about how you can start implementing routines and schedules into your day and your newborn so by the time they're 3 or 4 months, it's well established. Because guess what? That's when they start to really need it.
If you're interested in learning more, head to our website, www.shefoundhelp.com/courses.
We hope that you get better sleep than we did.
So before we dive into our tips for baby, let's touch on a few more must-haves for the postpartum person. Keeping in mind, you'll likely be in the hospital for a day or sometimes more, and the hospital floors are a bit, let's face it, they're gross. We don't recommend walking around barefoot, so throwing in a pair of slippers is really important. But even better is to throw in a pair of slippers that you can also wear in the shower if you want. So your flip-flops, those types of things.
Okay, so let's talk newborn items. Really, honestly, and truly, you don't need much. Your baby is going to spend most of their first few days, and sometimes even weeks, in a diaper and just swaddled in blankets or snuggled up skin to skin. So we don't recommend you pack a huge bag for your baby. Rather, just throw in a few different outfit choices for the trip home, accounting for the possibility that there may be a few outfit changes necessary due to spit up, poop explosions, etc. So, speaking of poop, hot tip coming in. We recommend throwing a jar of diaper ointment. So my favorite is Pseudo Cream, #not sponsored, but I literally recommend it to everyone. Or something even as simple as Vaseline.
That's my favorite.
And here's why. No, your newborn isn't likely to be born with a diaper rash or even develop one in the first few days of life. But their first few poops are called meconium, and this poop is super thicky and almost tar-like, and it can be really hard to wipe off their delicate little bottoms. So if you apply a thin layer of Vaseline or pseudo-cream or whatever ointment of your choice to their bottoms before they poop, once they do have that meconium poop, it makes it so much easier to wipe it off. And sometimes it's that wiping that aggravates their skin and causes a diaper rash. So you're doing this just preventatively and to make it easier for you both.
And I think Sarah just made up a new word, or maybe it's in the Urban Dictionary,
Ooh.
thicky, which is a combination thick and sticky, and really quite appropriate.
Right? It is.
So we'd be remiss if we didn't touch on anything for your partner, but honestly, there isn't anything too secret or groundbreaking here. The biggest recommendation we have for your partner is to pack some snacks. Hospitals feed their patients, but not the patient's partners. And depending on what time of day your baby is born, they may be ravished. Most hospitals have fridges, but you can also pack a cooler with some snacks and leave it in your car. Just pop out to grab what you need after baby arrives. Protein bars, granola bars, sandwiches are great options to have on hand for your partner to stay fueled to help you through your birth and into postpartum.
So that's our top 10 things you didn't know you needed in your hospital bag. If you want to know all our recommendations and not just our top 10, head to the show notes to download our essential packing list or visit www.shefoundhealth.ca/the-essential-packing-list. That's a mouthful. Thanks for listening and happy packing, everyone.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to check out our website at www.shefoundhealth.ca and to sign up for our community for weekly bump blasts. Make sure to check us out on Instagram or Facebook at she.found.motherhood and head on over to your favorite podcast app and leave a review and a 5-star rating. If you enjoyed this podcast, take a pic of yourself listening to it and share it on social. Make sure to tag us on it so we know to keep making them.